Hey, Bills Mafia. This is Brett back with another edition of the Go Bills podcast. And today we're going to have a little bit of an overreaction Monday. I guess I should start by apologizing for my emotional podcast I had on Sunday night. I am truly sorry, but that doesn't mean I think I was completely wrong or wrong at all. And I certainly can't promise it will never happen again. It doesn't sound like I'm very sorry, does it? But I truly am. Let me explain it this way. As a Bills Mafia fan and a Bills fan since literally the day I was born, not only do I have the passion for the Bills, but I feel like I've earned that passion. The emotion I felt and the things I said was born from watching this talented team, a team that we all have high hopes for, not play up to their potential, not even close. And let's not forget, we are a few games away from the midseason point. But even more scary, and the Halloween pun intended, is knowing that we are not going to beat good teams that way. Let's face it, we got the Minnesota Vikings as well as the New York Jets coming up in the next couple of weeks. Add that to the fact that I know no one watching this game would mistake that for a playoff caliber team or a Super Bowl caliber team. And maybe you can understand my perspective or my emotions a little better. I can't be alone on this. Don't get me wrong, I am and always will be a ride or die Bills fan since the day my dad took me to the Ralph Wilson Stadium at the time and held me up like the scene in The Lion King where Simba was dedicated to being a lion. He held me up in front of Ralph Wilson Stadium and I was dedicated a Bills fan. From that moment on, I will always be a Bills fan, and I was only 1 year old at the time. That's my team. You can say go Bills. Bills Mafia forever. You can say anything. I will always be a Bills fan. Bring back the Jills, and I promise you I'll jump through a periodic table. So what changed overnight besides cooler heads and some much-needed sleep? In a word, it's perspective. I realized that I was hard on Stephon Diggs. Sure, things were said, and things could have been handled more professionally, but I don't know what was going on in his head, the emotions that he had, such as what happened in the tunnel or what happened before the game. I don't know the history that he has with the Green Bay defense. Remember, he used to play in the division. And like most of you, I don't really know the emotional level of being an NFL player on game day. That's the perspective I can say. And I was disappointed that Coach McDermott seemed to dismiss, in a way, what he said about Stephon Diggs. Then I realized something. A good coach, and let's face it, we have a great coach in Sean McDermott, would never air that type of dirty laundry to a reporter, but rather it would stay in-house and it would stay in the locker room. That's a perspective that I didn't understand. And as for Josh Allen, he seemed to be forcing things in the fourth quarter. And well, let's face it, the dude can pull it off. Maybe he has been coached to do that from a perspective and put teams away. Putting teams in a position of playing catch-up certainly favors our defense, doesn't it? And I like our pass rush better than our run defense, especially last night. Don't you? And of course, I love Josh, and I love his confidence. And at times, he can make play after play and make any play on the field. But at times, it also seems like he needs to rein it in a little bit, and we need to run the ball more and chew up the clock. That's the perspective. The theme of this apology seems to be perspective, doesn't it? Hopefully this gives you a better perspective of what I was trying to say on Sunday. As always, let's go Buffalo, go Bills, Bills Mafia forever, and don't blink. This is the Go Bills podcast, and Brett with the Go Bills podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, as well as on Twitter. This has been the Go Bills podcast, and we will see you next time.